Touchdown! Oh, did you see that?
Whoa, we scored?
Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs.
I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride.
Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
But I need that back.
No.
Kevin!
I'm Ryan Newman, and since I started with Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives, I found out that some people think that they can't be an organ donor. The truth is, anyone can sign up to be an organ donor.
Anyone?
Anyone?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. Anyone can sign up to be an organ donor. So don't count yourself out because somebody's counting on you. Go to driventosavelives.org and sign up today.
But my heart's going to you, Ryan.
Love that shirt.
Welcome to the 34 Motorsports Product Showcase. We're proud to offer the full line of Simpson Racing safety products. The Shark Speedway is a perfect brain bucket to keep your melon as safe as possible. We carry every model and size of Hans device, and these have saved countless lives. The Hybrid Pro Lite is an alternative to the Hans device and is just as effective. The DNA 3-layer suit offers maximum protection when things get hot. And hey dude, those comfy shoes won't help one bit when things go south. Keep those hands ready to work with a pair of Vortex FIA gloves meeting every current standard. From 5 to 7 points, we carry every one of the Simpson harnesses, keeping your rear end right where it should be. Keep all your gear clean and together with the helmet and FHR bag, and always be ready to hop in a race car. Visit 34motorsports.com and order today.
If there's one thing every car guy hates, it's cleaning the garage. Do you want to take most of the time and hassle out of that job? Then call Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Agnes and her crew will have your garage, shop, basement, or even your porch looking great all the time. With unique patterns and designs, plus the ability to incorporate your logo or any artwork, your space will never have looked better. Installation is done in 1 day, guaranteed, and Zone Garage offers a 20-year warranty on the top coat. Their coatings are durable, anti-slipped, and impact resistant. Give them a call at 570-856-6067. That's 570-856-6067 for Zone Garage of Eastern Pennsylvania and New Jersey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to more iRacing action here on the National Racing Network. As tonight, the Stars and Cars of the Indy Pro 2000 Championship going to take on Phoenix International Raceway. Threenix, I guess, is the version. It's the open dogleg. It's got the longest pit lane in the history of auto racing. My name is Chris Graham, joined in the booth by Patrick Byrne. James Watson is going to be our in-car reporter this evening. He's got himself deafened while he's qualifying. 28 cars on the split on the entry list, 14 in this split, and I'll tell you what, Bizzle, 29:31 is the iRating for this one a little bit lower than what we're used to seeing. However, should still be a pretty good race.
Still higher than any race I get into, that's for sure. And
that is correct.
It's a good thing we can't hear Watson qualifying, is we actually just watch him blow the blue cone and has to start from the pits again.
Hey.
Oh, here he is. See, I was going to let everyone know a fun fact about Watson, and the reason we deafen you when you qualify is it's almost like when you take your mother for a drive down the road and you go make a turn at like 26 miles an hour. And it's just that constant, like, scream the entire time. Like, your eyeballs are super huge in the helmet. Somehow you calm down during the race. It's impressive. But in qualifying, man, you full send.
You'd think I'd be used to that with how many times I've sat in a car with you.
That's beautiful. Andrew Berry goes top of the board. Quick time, 24.749. I personally like this place. James, something tells me you're not as much of a fan of the new Phoenix as I am.
It's terrible. They ruined a perfectly good track is what they did. The dogleg is silly and makes no sense, and it screws up side-by-side racing. Like, especially here this week, something is weird with the grip parameters of the car. Like, every race I've been in this week, it's been pretty much a single-file train around the inside. You try to make a pass around the outside, and you don't really have enough momentum to pull it off. And that's because you're going to cut the dogleg. The car on the inside gets to take the shortcut, and they shave off a lot more time. Where if you were forced to take the regular way, the dogleg, like how you should, the outside car would at least be able to stay put. And, like, you're flat out most of this. Like, me, Wes, and several others could not catch up to Naiji on Tuesday from 3/10 back, despite being flat out pretty much the entire last 20 laps of the race.
Well, like, qualifying is done. Andrew Berry's going to be your pole sitter. Yeah, this field is very tight. And quite frankly, I think it's going to be interesting to watch how this race develops, Patrick, because in theory, everything James is saying should square up. It should be single file. It just never seems to work that way in the SOF races, though.
No, there's so much on the line here. We have the Broadcast Points Championship. Everyone comes to the SOF for the iRacing Points Championship because that's where the most points are available. So where everyone's been single file all week, I think you're going to see some risky moves tonight.
I hope you're right. At least not on me.
Speaking of the Broadcast Points Championship, we're using the old F1 system. Only the top 6 earn points. We are going to give, I think it's 1 drop week. I think that's what we agreed on. But either way, we're not there yet. Everett Paddock leading the point standings. He's got 14 to Chris Preston's 12. David Porcelli's 11 in third. 3 points separating your top 3 after a couple of weeks. Nicholas Daly, Nagisa Yoshikawa tied for 4th with 5 markers. Richard Holt picking up 4 1 week ago. He is in the 6th position, and Tom Whitmer getting 1 point for a 6th place finish in week number 1. So only 7 drivers have scored points thus far this season. I'm looking forward to see how that shakes out tonight. But first, we got to get tonight's starting grid up on the screen. Andrew Berry, your pole sitter, 62 thousandths of a second back, going to be Nick Camargo out of Brazil, lining up on the outside of row number 1. Nagisa Yoshikawa, David Porcelli on row number 2. Wes Shire, James Watson on row 3. Good qualifying effort there, Mr. Watson.
I didn't blow qualifying this time.
I was going to say, when you start up front, you're usually in decent shape. Row number 4, Kylo Ciacelli and Richard Holt. Row 5, Frank Wynn and Russ Addy. Brian Karszewski, Mike Holler on row number 7. Row number 6, excuse me. Dylan Vilashinsky and Raymond Tew on row number 7. Going to be 14 cars for 70 laps. This one's going to be fun. I am looking forward to it. But as always, race fans, the start of the Indy Pro 2000 Championship the longest that a field is under control of the leader at pace speed. Green flags out. We're underway here at Phoenix.
Or not.
It's gonna.
I think we're going to get lap 1 in the books. Yeah, if this was the NASCAR series utilizing the start zones, that would have been a massive jump start for Andrew Berry.
I was gonna say he went at the Tunic start line.
Yeah.
That don't exist no more.
Yeah, that's the problem with having the world's longest pit road, and quite frankly, why they had to put start zones in for the stock cars series, because there was just no way that you could run 3/4 of a lap at pace speed without the pace car on the racetrack.
No, these are racing drivers. They like to get that jump, and you can see the jump that Andrew Berry's got on the rest of the field because he caught everyone sleeping.
Yeah, he's gone.
Traditional courtesy on iRacing is the initial start, you wait for the flagman to drop the green flag, but you are allowed to go whenever you want. That's not a hard rule. That's kind of like a gentleman's agreement. So fair game for him for jumping that, but maybe on the next restart, if he's not the pole sitter for the next restart, I don't know if someone's going to give him that kind of courtesy or not.
Yeah, I don't know that people are going to be nice here. We'll say it that way. David Porcelli, Nick Camargo battling through turns 3 and 4. I am still getting used to saying that one. We'll take a look here. Let's get the side-by-side pulled up for you as well. Second, third, fourth, fifth on the left-hand side of your screen, and an absolute dog pile led by Richard Holt. Just ahead of Wes Schuyler, Kylo Ciacelli, Frank Wynn, Russ Addy going to be in that one as well. The problem that pack is going to have is that they're going to pretty quickly lose touch with the guys running in front of them if they're single file. Unless, Patrick, you're just topped out in the gearing.
Yeah, if you, I'm not sure how far you can set the gearing in these cars. I know it's limited on a per-track basis, but usually they're pretty good about it where you're not going to be hitting the chip, but if you forgot to set your gear ratio back, absolutely you could be just stuck banging around on the chip waiting for the engine to blow.
Let's take a look here. Go on board with James Watson, carrying the Pizza at the Pagoda colors. Get his paint scheme updated here on the main side of the feed.
I was going to say, those two cars are two slightly different colors.
Just slightly. Already working.
Paying no attention to the radioactive piss car on the other camera.
Yeah, it's going to update in a second here. New quick lap, Nick Camargo at a 24.74. I'm really interested here that we don't have, there are some names that we would have expected to see in an SOF race that are just not here. Well, not necessarily not here. They could be in bottom split. Everett Paddock is not in this race here tonight. I wonder if the oval rating is not high enough there for Everett.
No, Everett's always been like the 3 or 4 car in the oval races, so I guess he just wasn't able to make it. I know JO 42000 is off doing something else. Something really important if he's missing an SOF race at an oval, that is for sure. Look,
yeah.
we have a battle for the lead.
Nagisa Yoshikawa got caught up to Andrew Berry. They'll be side by side through 3 and 4. Porcelli and Watson going to be there as well. Nick Camargo goes from starting second to now running in the 5th position by the time they get into turn 1. And Patrick, we're really seeing here what James was talking about in the opener. Andrew Berry is hung up on the outside of the racetrack. He's going to have to be at least a little bit careful and try to get himself down a lane.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a problem for him. He's very, very good on the ovals. I believe he's been called the master on the ovals in these cars multiple times. So I think he's just kind of waiting it out, testing the water, maybe saving the tires for the end of the race.
Top 5 still lined up, playing nicely here. Let's slide back in the field a little bit, and we'll bring back up the side-by-side here. This second pack is absolutely catching the front one now as well. So they were able to get in line, play nice a little bit. That group led by Richard Holt, Kylo Ciacelli in that one, Frank Wynn, Dylan Vilashinsky. Catching out Watson a little bit here is Ciacelli going to move to the outside.
Yeah, the lead pack just like came to a stop, and I almost destroyed Naiji. But I almost spun trying to avoid him too.
Andrew Berry back to the race lead. David Porcelli runs second. Yoshikawa, Camargo, Ciacelli, your top 5. Slide back here a little bit deeper in the pack. Get you this big side-by-side battle on the full screen. I love Frank Wynn's throwback Valvoline colors. The old Robbie Gordon colors on a PM18 look pretty darn spectacular.
That's not Frank's.
Well, okay. I think something screwy is happening with Trading Pace because yours hasn't updated either there, James. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Dylan Vilashinsky. Yeah. Yes, Vilashinsky. Sorry. There's a good look at that one. That's a good looking paint job. Now, James, we're seeing you slide a little bit back in the pack here. Is that a little bit of self-preservation type stuff, just getting out of the mess at the front of the field?
No, getting freight trained. I lost so much momentum trying to avoid not running over the pack ahead that just everyone came around on the outside.
I'll tell you what, we're getting the pack race, though. This is definitely not single file. David Porcelli grabbing the race lead out of turn number 4. Able to hold it through the dogleg. Andrew Berry going to try the crossover down the back straightaway. Now he'll dive down to the inside. That's going to keep this whole pack up tight here now, Patrick.
Oh yeah, it's like a bee's hive, swarm of bees, I guess is the right term for that. And especially at the speeds they run at this track and how close they run together, I'm amazed we haven't had a big Talladega-esque wreck yet.
Yeah, I feel like it's on the horizon. Now this is for self-preservation. Oh, there it is.
Oh, contact!
No!
Camargo going to go around. Watson's going to be involved as well. Front end torn off at James Watson's car. Nee Camargo got spun around in that one as well. Caution flag is out for the first time. Here is the Fieldworks lap number 21.
You have to.
Take a look at the instant replay here. That may have been some contact that kind of set that one off. Coming through turn 4, yeah, 2 cars going for one piece of real estate. Nee Camargo kind of bounces around, neck-coated with the 10 of Richard Holt. Looks like the left front of Holt's car may be junk. Now let's take a look and see what happened here to James Watson.
It just snapped. I hit the brakes to avoid it, and it just snapped. I don't even know what happened. I have 55% brake bias. I am just cursed in the SOF. Like, I don't even know, man.
Interesting developments here. Just about everybody coming down pit lane, with the exception of Wes Shire and Raymond 2. Porcelli going to lead the field off of pit lane. You have unlimited tires, but James, do we really think tires are going to play that much of a role here?
Yes, especially the rears.
Let's see if we can sneak a quick word in here. Let's see if we can't sneak
You went the wrong way.
Yeah, I went the wrong way. Let's see if we can get a quick word in here with Wes Shire. Wes, kind of an interesting call here possibly to not take tires on this pit stop. Hearing James saying the rears might be a concern, what are your thoughts?
Well, I'm tight right now, and clearly I'm going backwards, so I got to try something.
All right, so wear out the rears, loosen the car up, and hope for the best.
Pretty much.
I like.
We'll see if it works, but
Bold move, Cotton.
Gonna say, like, I was going backwards. There's no reason I shouldn't do the opposite of what the leaders are doing. So
I like the thought process.
See if I can cheese them on the restart or something. Maybe we'll see.
But good luck the rest of the way here. We'll drop you back in the other room here. But Wes Shire going to be your race leader. Raymond 2 going to restart second, followed by Porcelli, Berry, Yoshikawa, the top 5. Now the pace car is in. Theoretically, Wes Shire can go whenever he feels like it.
And Wes is known for playing games, at least when I race him personally. So let's see what he does. He's going to wait it out, maybe catch some people sleeping when he decides to step on it.
He is going full Colton Herta here. Now he gets on the gas. Oh, and Raymond 2 does not get going.
Left him sleeping. That's the Wes Shire I know.
Oh, man, now they're going to have to go 3 wide for second. That's going to be Berry to the inside, Porcelli to the outside. Both of those drivers will clear Raymond 2. Wes Shire had about 7/10, almost out of draft range. Not quite, though, and now they're starting to catch up. Andrew Berry starting to open up a gap here as well. He's going to sit about 4/10 ahead of David Porcelli, closing in ever so slightly on Wes Shire. James, it's almost like this strategy for Wes is going to be hope the cautions time out, right? That you kind of don't skunk yourself.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised Andrew was able to catch him that quickly. I thought at the very least Wes was going to have a pretty healthy lead for a while.
Raymond 2 falling backwards through the field here, already back to the 7th position after the restart. Nagisa Yoshikawa, Dylan Vilashinsky. That was a mouthful, both coming past. New race leader at the head of the field, Andrew Berry, made that move quickly. Could the push that Wes is encountering, could that be a function of downforce and just running less than everybody else?
Yep. The setup we were on, it was perfect in traffic, but it was dangerously loose when you had even the slightest bit of clean air. So him and I elected to take some front downforce out of the front. Okay, that was a bit of an oxymoron since I already said front. But yeah, we took some front downforce out of the front hoping to try to tighten it up, but ended up kind of ruining the setup in dirty air. So that I'm pretty sure that's one of the main reasons why he stayed out, was to get the clean air that we knew the setup would be better in.
Yeah, well, I think we're seeing a little bit of that now as he's going backwards behind David Porcelli as well. However, approaching the halfway point here, looks like a decent strategy call for Wes. He's got himself inside the top 3. All he really has to do here is try to hang on.
Yeah, about a net gain of like 5-6 positions. That's what you want to see when you do a crazy strategy like this.
Side-by-side battle for the lead. Porcelli down to the inside. Berry's going to try to cross him over here. Oh, but a nice cover by Porcelli. That's going to force Berry up to the outside of the racetrack, and it brings Kylo Ciacelli into play here as well. Shire gets that push again. Slides way up the racetrack. That's going to open the door for Ciacelli down to the inside. Shire's going to have to watch out because here comes Nagisa Yoshikawa.
Whoa!
Whoa! Big slide.
Oh, boy.
2 for 1. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Kylo Ciacelli
Surely you
up
can't
to
be
third.
serious.
I don't think Wes planned that. It just happened. Oh, my Lord. Man, Andrew's car did not want to turn there through 1 and 2.
No, and he's falling back through the field here now as well. Kind of getting, like we heard about, freight trained on the outside. I wonder if there's not some damage on that race car. Falling back now behind Frank Wynn into 7th.
You know, now that I look at it, let me take a look at that.
We'll get you the close-up. I don't see anything.
Nope. It's bent. There's just a slight little bend to it. Yep, that is costing him a lot. That is unfortunate.
That's going to be incredibly frustrating for Andrew Berry. The only guy who might be more frustrated with that than Berry is Jason Owens. Those guys battled tooth and nail for the Oval Championship in the officials. Owens not going to score in the strength of field race this week.
Oh, yeah, he made a little bit of contact with David's rear on coming to lap 35, and that's what did it. Yeah, he is done. Unless there's a caution and he can get that changed, is pretty well cooked.
Now down to 32 laps to go here. Kind of changing things up a little bit. David Porcelli able to open up a gap on Kylo Ciacelli, who runs in second. Wes Shire holding on for third. Vilashinsky Yoshikawa the top 5. This is more, James, what you were talking about, how everybody kind of has to get in line and working on making up ground. Right now, the gap between Porcelli and Ciacelli sitting at about 3.5 tenths. But everybody behind them is going to have to stay lined up if they want to catch them here.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if they will. It's like, that car of David's is bad fast. And like, we weren't in the similar situation late Tuesday night. We were unable to run back up to Naiji. So, although it looks like they're starting to reel him in a bit.
Yeah, and you just have to wonder, is this going to play into Wes Shire's hands a little bit? Get those rear tires heated up, Patrick. Get the thing as loose as you want it, and all of a sudden, with 10 or 15 to go, you can really give him hell.
Yeah, it's an unorthodox way of dialing in the car. But it's very common in IndyCar. You see it sometimes at tracks like Iowa, or even when they used to come to Phoenix, where if the car would be a little bit too loose, you'd see them throw in way more steering than they needed to have the opposite effect, tighten the car up and get it right where they want it. So absolutely you can make it work. If you're trying to dial in a loose condition, though, it can be a little tricky.
Going on board here with Wes Shire for the side-by-side. Just absolutely crazy how these guys are throwing it all the way down there to the concrete retaining wall on the inside. Dylan Vilashinsky on the outside of Wes Shire. He's clear off at turn 2. Elects to stay in line behind Kylo Ciacelli. Now Porcelli slides up in front of Ciacelli. Oh man, Kylo wants a piece of the race lead. Porcelli slowed up just a little bit at the exit of turn 2. We haven't done one of these yet. Field comes out of the dog leg. How about we do this one? Let's give you a chance to crank it up. It's kind of funny here, James, how you go from being absolutely on the screws right about what we're going to see to the polar opposite. You couldn't be more wrong. How the field fans out, the leaders get side by side, and all of a sudden it's like all hell breaks loose. It's somewhere in the field.
At least I was right at one point. That's about 1 point more than I usually am right, which is never.
Hey, you're a Mendoza average, Mendoza line hitter for us here in the color commentary booth.
I'll take it.
Really good run here for Dylan Vilashinsky. Sometimes you kind of have to throw the numbers out the window, the car numbers out the window. Oval Week is kind of its own beast here in the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. But Kylo Ciacelli, he's the number 13 oval guy. Vilashinsky, the number 11. On a road course, we'd be talking about how great of a run it is. This is a really good run for Kylo and Dylan.
It is, but it's not really surprising. I've shared the track with these two enough to know that they're a hell of a lot better around an oval in this car than their numbers. Yes. Like, it's kind of crazy to me that they aren't, with how well they run on a regular basis during Oval Week, I'm surprised they're still that low.
That's kind of that thing of you just don't do it often enough. If all you do are the SOF races and the PM18s, that's it's one of those deals that, yes, you're going to grow the I rating eventually, but we go to a lot of places where you're going to make some hefty donations at times too.
Yeah.
Speaking of the oval schedule, let's take a look at the rest of the schedule here. Next week, we head off to Fuji, running the Grand Prix circuit. I am looking forward to that one. May top out the gearboxes on these cars down that crazy straightaway. Following up, heading off to Homestead Miami Speedway, running Road Course A at Homestead. I can get on board with it. I'll follow that up with Road Atlanta, the Oval at Twin Ring Motegi in Week 7, followed by Spa, the East layout of Motegi, Iowa Speedway Oval for the third and final Oval week of the season, then the Daytona International Speedway Road Course, and Moss Sport to round out the season. I'm looking forward to that. Trying to think which. I guess it'll be the Homestead Miami week I will not be here for. And Spa week I will not be here for. We'll have Gary Godso handling the play-by-play duties for those weeks. Got to say a big thank you to Gary for picking up the play-by-play duties there for us.
I guess the B team can return for Spa then.
The B team could return for Spa. That would actually be borderline comical.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, Lord, help us.
Yes.
And Jason Owens for our intro. Hey Jason, where you at?
Some
Sorry
say
guys, my mic quit working.
some say we're still waiting on him to start that intro to this day.
Oh, that's beautiful. Richard Holt checking in the comments saying sadness. FRS Drake said Shire had some speed running high, it seemed, when everyone was squabbling. That's an interesting point. Something I haven't looked at a ton, but West does seem to be having some success on the high side of the racetrack, following in behind Dylan Vilashinsky. I think at this point, it's just got to be... The car just isn't loosening up here as we're down to 12 to go. Fantastic comment. This one has to get on the air. Stephen C. Thompson is checking in, asking if he can be the C team. I see what you did there.
I like it.
Hell yeah. It sucks his YouTube name doesn't have the C, so like everyone playing at home doesn't get the joke. But
They don't get the joke, but regular viewers of the channel will get it. I'll tell you what, I wonder if Kylo Ciacelli isn't kind of holding off a little bit here, guys, because sitting very comfortably right behind David Porcelli, doesn't have to contend with Dylan Vilashinsky yet, getting himself a little bit of clean air. Now inside of 10 to go, now he's going to start thinking about making that move, because if we get a yellow,
Whoa!
we don't
Big
go to
wiggle
overtime.
from David. Wow. Ooh, this is going to make things... That was a big save from David. That was like a NASCAR at Texas moment right there. Thankfully, the tires stayed connected and on the car.
Porcelli going to fight right back down the outside. Frank Wynn, how about it? Frankie baby up to third. I think that's Brian Karszewski making a big dive down to the inside. But now Frank Wynn going to be up alongside Porcelli. Porcelli trying a little bit of a side draft. A little bit of a soft block from Ciacelli. Most of the field heading towards the bottom of the racetrack.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. Tight at the front of the field. What a battle for the race win between David Porcelli and Kylo Ciacelli. It is going to be 6 laps to go at the line.
really, no one giving any room anymore. It's all take at this point.
Yeah, Mr. Nice Guy is over. Oh, Porcelli right up under the attenuator. He's going to have to watch that, though, because it gave Vilashinsky a great run off of turn 2.
Oh, 5 to go. I believe we're in caution ends it. Hopefully we don't
really
get that
close.
until after. Yeah.
Oh, Ciacelli slides up the racetrack a little bit. Here comes Frank Wynn. Ciacelli tries to block down the backstretch. Frank Wynn now going to have the optimum line all the way to the inside. Wynn has to back out of it before they get to the pit wall. Oh, there's almost contact again. I think Porcelli and Ciacelli made contact. Karszewski now all the way down to the inside of the racetrack. Ciacelli holds the lead. Porcelli fighting back on Frank Wynn on the outside. 3 to go here at the line. If it was all take before, what's it going to be now? Good Lord. We've talked about welcoming Frank Wynn back to the series and how great it's been to see Frank running week in and week out. Now we're seeing him way up at the pointy end of the field, but here comes Karszewski. Oh man, almost making contact with Ciacelli through the dog leg. Through turn 3, field will. Oh, there's contact!
Oh!
There's
What a save
contact!
by Frank!
Great save, Frank Wynn. We stay green. Karszewski runs second. Yoshikawa up to third. Where did Rosati come from? He runs fourth. Off at turn number 2 for the final time. Kylo Ciacelli may go unchallenged. Through 3 and 4, twin checkers in the air. Kylo Ciacelli picks up the win at Phoenix. Brian Karszewski comes home second. Nagisa Yoshikawa rounds out the podium. What a save by Frank Wynn. David Porcelli absolutely took damage in that contact. Porcelli fell all the way to 9th. I'll get these comments up here. I apologize for them being a little late, but good Lord. Just realized I've been holding my breath for the past 10 laps. Chris Preston checking in. He is absolutely thrilled. Kyle Mast is as well. That's how you get it done right there. Kylo Ciacelli burning every last bit of those Cooper tires off here at the start-finish line. Before we get to the victory lane interviews and getting everybody here into the room, let's take a look at the race results. Kylo Ciacelli, the winner by, call it a quarter second, over Brian Karszewski. Nagisa Yoshikawa rounds out the podium. Rosati Raymond, 2, the top 5. I'll tell you what, the great strategy call by 2. He got a little bit of help, shuffled back through the field, but a nice recovery drive puts him up inside the top 5. Dylan Westshire comes home 6th. Dylan Vilashinsky 7th. Frank Wynn 8th. David Porcelli 9th. Mike Howler rounds out the top 10. And Drew Berry, the last car to finish on the lead lap. Nick Camargo comes home 2 laps down in 12th. Richard Holt and James Watson rounding out the field. Another nice iRating donation there, Mr. Watspin.
I'm cursed. Race. The one time I actually qualify and run well, and that happened. I didn't even have I only had a quarter of a brake put in it, and it just snapped. You can't write that.
Stephen Thompson checking in. Big points for Brian Kay in the Division II championship. Yeah, this race has multiple points implications. I guess we can't say playoff implications yet. But, good Lord, this one was fun, man. We got to get... Let's see, we do need Nagisa to the booth. Kylo, Brian Karszewski, if you're watching. I don't know if you're in this Discord server or not, but we can get you an invite here. And how about this one? Nagisa Yoshikawa coming home 3rd. Picks up 4 points towards the championship and is the only driver to have scored points that was already in the championship, in the top 6 at some point. Oh, that's fantastic. So let's take a look here. Let's bring him in. The man of the hour. Our race winner tonight, Mr. Kylo Ciacelli. You have got to be jacked up over there, brother. Congratulations.
The heart rate is unhealthy right now. Oh man. How did that just happen? Guys, how did I just do yes. Yeah. I just won the soft race on an oval.
I tell you what, it was a fantastic drive. You kept yourself near the front, and things just kind of sort of fell into your lap a little bit. The early contact between Andrew and David took one of them out. Later contact with David, all of a sudden it was like there was nobody close to you. The closest was Karshevsky about a quarter second back. That was intense over those last couple of laps, but the white flag lap had to be almost easy.
That was a long 70 laps. The first stint, I was a second behind the top 5, and I had to catch up with Richard behind me, and I did. And then the caution came out right in front of me, and I missed it. And then the tire strategy worked because everybody except for Wes came in. Good on Wes. He made it work. He was up front. And yeah, for the last probably, 40 laps or so, it was me and David, and I was holding the high side. He was holding the low side. And I saw a chance to go to the inside, and I knew I had to take it because I was not getting around him on the top. So we did it. Yeah, there was a little bit of contact. I don't think I did anything wrong. I took my normal line there. So unfortunate that it happened, but it did. And yeah, just Frank and Andrew behind it. It wasn't too much. I was able to hold them off pretty effectively there the last few laps.
Man, that one was fun to watch all the way around. Huge momentum boost for you here. I mean, what are you thinking in terms? It's way too early to be talking championship, but next week we head off to Fuji. It's another place that's big, fast, kind of edge of your seat stuff like we saw here tonight. You've got to be jacked up for next week now.
I could. The first 2 weeks of the season still happened, and that's 2 drop weeks out of 3 races. So I'm pretty optimistic about any championships, even in Division 2. I think Richard's already got me covered, which is unfortunate because I think I can run well, but a couple of the tracks at the end of the year I'm not too confident in right now. So we'll have to pick it up from there and see if we can do it. Definitely going to keep trying every week, see what we can do and put on a show for everybody, though.
Man, I'll tell you what, we enjoyed the show tonight for sure. Thank you very much. It was a blast. By the way, the win tonight puts you up to 4th in the broadcast season championship. Big 10 points you scored here tonight. You're only 4 points back of Everett Paddock. That's fantastic.
Yeah, just got to be consistent. Those old rules really punish inconsistency, and being in the top 6 is hard to do every week with the guys that show up. These oval weeks are a little bit better for me. I'm a little bit quicker on the ovals, I'd say, than the rovals and the road courses themselves. So good to get those points, and yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. But middle of the pack is where I'm aiming for, and I think that's where we're going to be. So.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on the win. We are thrilled for you. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks to you guys, as always, for putting on the broadcast every week. Love what you do and love the ability to share this great racing that we have here. Shout out to Limo Boys Racing and my spotter tonight, Chris. He did a great job for me, helped me out, and talked some sense into me in terms of setup. And clearly it worked. So thanks to him. Speaking of setup, Team Watson Race setups, of course, with the badass race car that they gave me tonight and just able to pull out. And, of course, our title sponsor, DeChaco Farms, and everybody else, Petro Canada, Pit Viper, and the Cannabis Retail Store. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much, Kylo. Man, that's a fun interview. I like getting to talk up the jacked up winners. Another guy probably going to be pretty happy with this one here tonight, Nagisa Yoshikawa, our 3rd place finisher. And talk us through the night. This was kind of insanity all the way around.
Yeah, honestly, I have no idea how we got through that without wrecking. Like, there's so many instances where it felt like it could have been like a huge pileup, but no, I felt like the car was really good. Not really the type of race I was hoping for. I was hoping we could maybe get like 3-car pack or something at the front because I felt like we were really quick and just try and pull away, but it worked out in the end. So Yeah, a lot of fun.
It's funny that you say that because we had the discussion early on that I was hoping for a pack race. James told me to expect single file and not much going on. Was that something setup wise that you guys were running in that Team Watson Racing setup that you just kind of felt that would key into your setup a little bit better?
Well, no, I feel like so I ran the 2 hours ago for a practice just to get a feel for everything, and that's kind of how it went. We kind of got a 4-car breakaway at the front, and I just sat back in like fourth the whole time, saved my tires, and it wasn't like this where it's like you're just jammed in a pack the whole time. And I felt like our car was maybe a little quicker than some of the people we were around. So I felt like if we had all maybe if it had been a different type of race, we could have gotten away a little bit. But third is a really good result. Just felt like that first when everyone pitted under the caution, it really just shuffled everything around and different type of race after that.
Yeah, that definitely had a big effect. And quite frankly, you may leave here with the points lead after tonight, with David coming home in ninth. What are you thinking here? We're only less than a quarter of the way, or about a quarter of the way into the season, but you have a realistic shot at picking up an overall championship here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for sure this season we've made. I feel like the last couple seasons it's been like little steps every year or every season, and because a couple seasons ago I was like ninth and then seventh and then fifth last season. So I feel like we've been making progress like a little bit at a time, and it's continued this season. Felt like just been nailing the setups recently. Obviously, it's going to be a little interesting with some of the newer tracks coming on the schedule. I have never driven at Fuji or Homestead or Motegi actually, so it'll be interesting to see how those turn out. But I think everything's been going well so far, so no reason why I can't continue.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on a nice podium finish here tonight. And before we let you go, make sure you get all the sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yeah, Team Watson Racing setups, obviously. Setups have been great this season, and so check them out. And everyone on the team and everything. And community as always. It's been great, and especially this race. Thank all the other drivers. It was fun. And everyone kept it really clean and respectful. So huge thanks to them.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much. We appreciate you checking in with us here. And man alive, that was wholly unexpected, I guess is the easiest way to say it. Patrick, we'll come to you first. Oval Week delivered once again in the Indy Pro 2000 Championship.
There's a reason we put Fastmasters on hold for the Oval Weeks of the PM18s, because it's just a blast. It's fun to watch. It's fun to race. These little cars, they make what, 190 horsepower? Actually, I think these are like 215. They weigh nothing. They have wings on them. It's like an Indy car, but you took all of the horsepower out of it, so now you really have to push every little ounce you can out of this thing, and it makes for a freaking awesome race.
Yeah, and James, you kind of got the short end of the stick with the car snapping around and doing dumb things on you at that first incident. But we got to have you up in the booth, which is with us as always, which is quite frankly pretty cool for me. I like getting to hang out with you every week. We're seeing some interesting storylines develop here now.
I just gotta say, I'm so unbelievably happy for Kylo. He's run so well at these ovals. He's run pretty well the last season plus. So to see him bring home the win in such an incredible drive, I am just so unbelievably happy. Like, all my irritation and anger of having my own rating, I'd much rather be a happy team owner than a happy driver, that's for sure.
Well, you're going to be a pretty happy guy here, because in our officially unofficial broadcast championship standings, Everett Paddock is still your points leader after tonight. He was a did not start, so it'll be his drop week, but still sitting on top at 14 points. Chris Preston still second with 12. David Porcelli didn't score tonight. He still sits third with 11. but Kylo Ciacelli moving up to 4th place with the win, ahead of Nagiso Yoshikawa, Brian Karszewski, Nicholas Daly, Russ Holt, Richard Holt, Russ Addy, Raymond 2, Tom Whitmer, and Wes Shire getting up on the board as well. So 12 drivers have now scored in the first 3 weeks. We're going to start hitting some chalk here, though. I think Fuji might be one of those places that maybe we see the front runners back kind of where they belong. But then the Homestead Miami road course, who knows? Road Atlanta, maybe a little bit more to chalk. And then we're back to Oval Week again in Week 7. This is going to be an absolutely insane championship here for Indy Pro 2000. But with that, we are getting the heck on out of here. It has been a fantastic night of broadcast excellence here on the National Racing Network. A couple of great races in the Ezra IndyCar Series here in the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. They'll be coming back next week along with the Sim Racers Club on Wednesday night. Keep your eye out on all the social media channels as well as nationalracingnetwork.com. It's Talladega weekend for the NASCAR, all 3 NASCAR series, I believe. Yes, I'm looking forward to a weekend of racing at Talladega. But with that, we're getting out of here. We will talk to you all later. For James Watson, Patrick Byrne, and everybody here at the National Racing Network that makes these shows happen, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you all soon. Have a good night, everybody.